Hello and welcome to the aid station. I'm really excited today to be heading up to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam to meet Anh Nguyen, who is the head of marketing for Techcombank, who are involved in a portfolio of events, been very instrumental in the mass participation industry there. Anh, wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for making the time.
Hello. Hello. Thanks, Chris. Thanks. My great pleasure. Yeah.
It's great, yeah, and you were saying, exciting times there at the moment. There's talk of the first event happening in Vietnam in June. I'd love you just to tell me a little bit about your background before we get on to what's happening in Vietnam in the events industry, please.
Okay, Chris. Okay, so my major is in marketing, and over the past 15 years, I have been working as either head of brands or head of marketing in various FMCG and MNC, as well as in a large Vietnamese corporation, just like Techcombank. So this is going to my 6th year with Techcombank as the head of marketing. And Techcombank is the one of the largest commercial joint stock company and bank in Vietnam, and we are serving around 6 million retail customers and nearly 150,000 SME and wholesale customers.
Wow.
So yeah, as you already know, we are very proud to be the title sponsor for mass sport events in Vietnam, such as Đà Nẵng Ironman 70.3, Techcombank Ho Chi Minh City Marathon, and Techcombank Hanoi Marathon. Since the very early stage of endurance sport development in Vietnam.
It's so wonderful to be a pioneer in the sport, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that later on. I'd love to get a sense, though. Thanks for the background of what's life been like over the last few months, and what's it like now. You were saying exciting that you're back to work and things are really starting to open up.
Yeah, it's unusual. Yeah, this year is unusual, and I have been back to work since end of April. This is nearly 3 weeks. Before that, most of us been working from home. We take turn 1 week from home, then 1 week we go to the office, and take turn to ensure everyone work from home and work at the office, at the same time to ensure we stay connected with consumer and customer and be able to serve them during this difficult time. Yeah, and for me, it's actually it changed a bit, a bit in my daily life and the way I work. For example, I suddenly become more organized, much more punctual. Why? Because you have a list of meetings that you're gonna do throughout the day through WebEx, and then you need to spend some time, meeting different people through different platforms, either Zoom, WebEx, or email. So I need to have a list and become more organized. And then also the meeting become much more effective because you don't want to stay, 2 or 3 hours on the WebEx, right? So we keep it short, less than 1 hour. So in that way, it's more effective. And to my surprise, I suddenly have more time to talk with my team one-to-one through WebEx, And before I always think, oh, so busy, don't have enough time to read the book or do online learning. Then this is through the last 2-3 months, I read more books and I do more online learnings.
Wonderful.
And, so that's and I even wake up much earlier, 5 o'clock, and do 5 or 6 times training a week. Before I can only able to do 3-4 times. So for me, this is more self-organized and actually is more effective. My daughter is really enjoying during my time working from home. She keeps saying, why don't you work from home all the time? Because we can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. We can study together. So this is something kind of reminder, to me. More
Wonderful.
time.
How old is your daughter, Anh?
Oh, my daughter is only going to 6, over 5 years old.
Okay, I can totally understand. I have a 5-year-old son, and it's wonderful. But you know how often you get a knock on the study door saying, "Daddy, come and play. Daddy, can I show you this?"
Yes.
And it's beautiful, but it sometimes can be challenging to be productive, can't it?
That's right. Yeah.
So have those efficiencies transferred now that you're back in the workplace again? Do you find that you still have that extra time and you have that structure to the day has been retained?
So I'm trying to keep my daily routine, like wake up early,
Yes.
trying to be more organized and punctual. The reality is the when you go into the office, the meeting or workshop tend to be more long hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now you meet face to face with people and teams, so that all the conversation and meeting tend to be much more longer. So it's a
Yeah.
bit different. Yeah.
So it's going to be that balance, isn't it, as we evolve and the
Yes.
hope that we don't fall back into the old traps and we keep a little bit of the good stuff we learned here with
Yes.
because obviously that face-to-face part is also really important, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what have been some of the challenges during this period for you, please, Vanan?
Mm. Some challenges, for example, professionally. So we need to ensure that our big organization, we have to be more cost effective, because it's undeniable that revenue impacted and growth is impacted some way. It's not the normal time that we expect the company will get deliver on the plan that we forecast before last year. So actually, in terms of business, we have to redefine priorities, what to keep and what to release or cancel a few things. And for me, it is very important that how can we stay connected to consumer and ensure we continue to deliver value to them, while balancing the company cost and revenue, and at the same time keep the team motivated. Because imagine if revenue and profit impacted and we cut a lot of costs, benefit of employee or benefit of customer or consumer is going to be morally impacted. So this is, for me, is important, and some of the thing is that it's not easy to make decision.
So lots of balancing, and has that impacted, because I'm hearing stories from many parts of the world in the mass participation industry, and you may not be able to speak about this, but has that impacted some of your sponsorships? Have you had to reduce some of your sponsorships or reduce your activation budgets as a result of some of those decisions?
For Techcombank, so because this is something that we are very proud to be continue, to supporting. So all of our events we carry on this year, except one we need to delay Hanoi from this year to next year. We continue with other sponsorship. But I know and understand that many brands and companies, they have to either minimize or cancel the sponsorship, to prioritize to other activity to ensure, we continue deliver our promise to consumers and market. But we do cut on our other less priorities. Sometimes it's invisible to consumers or community, but we do make some tough call as well during the last 3-4 months.
Yeah, and I guess that's that's probably going to be ongoing for a while, but it's wonderful to hear a good news story for our industry, and wonderful to see a brand that recognize the power of engagement that mass participation events create, because that was, you seem to articulate that this creates this great platform to engage with participants.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. So I'm interested, as head of marketing, obviously a real leadership role and making those decisions. What are some of the toughest decisions you've had to make, and from a leadership perspective within your team over the last few months?
So for the team, we in terms of people, we have to frozen some of the recruitment. And this means the people now we need to do double head or triple head a few roles. So recruitment has been frozen since late Q1 this year, probably until end of this year. So one of the things mean the other existing team has to deliver more to cover the vacancies. So one of the thing, other thing is we also so in order not to impact to the brand engagement with consumer, we do cut other activities. From marketing or branding plan, we cut other activity delay to next year.
Yeah.
For example, one of the things that I like very much is we start with the new brand campaign, Live Greener. Live Greener, and this is a big campaign. However, we want to stay relevant during this time, so we do postpone to the next year and focus our new communication on the pandemic. So we launched the Be Greater Hub, and we want to stay relevant with our target audience. So we change all of this plan and campaign to stay relevant, and then how to advise and to people how to stay healthy, eat healthy during this time, be more resilient, use this opportunity for self-learning, reflection, thinking, stay positive, something like that. Fast turnaround because the plan that we will launch this year, Live Greener campaign, Live Greener and Be Greater. However, unexpectedly, with this pandemic, we have to change all communication plan to stay relevant to consumer and think how we can add value to the community during this time, how we can advise them and stay with them as partner through this difficult time. So we change our communication plan to stay relevant with the target audience during this time. For example, we give a lot of advice how to stay healthy and fit, what to eat, not to do and not to do list, and motivate people to spend this time for self-reflection, self-learning. It's the best time to stay with family, during all these, unique, valuable moments with family.
Yes.
So basically stay relevant and very genuine, emotionally connected with people, instead of staying, continue on advertising, something that people might not want to hear during this time. So
that's a wonderful initiative. I'm sure it must have taken a lot of work to do that quick pivot and remain relevant and authentically relevant as well. So
the team and our team and advertising team, our media agency have been working very hard in Feb and March to turn around with a new campaign, and then we stay relevant to people throughout the time.
And that's been well received by the community and the public in Vietnam.
Yeah. But the thing about it, the thing is because the community, they are so overwhelmed with Techcombank about endurance sport.
Yes.
So when we launch this, the audience continue asking me, so when we are back to normal, when we have our Ironman, when we can do marathon. So but it's a good way to engage the community as well, but because we are well known and overwhelmed with this endurance sport platform, so people still go back with this mass sport event that we are sponsoring.
Isn't that wonderful? I mean, that's a great endorsement of what you've created for the community, isn't it? It's inspiring, and I wanted to lead on to an inspiring story, and for me that is hugely inspiring that you've come in, you've been a pioneer, and even in these difficult times, people are saying, when is Ironman on? When is the marathon on? It's a real reflection of what you've achieved. But to finish up, I'd love you to share with me something inspiring, and I'm sure as part of the sponsorship you've seen many inspiring things, but is there one particular inspiring story that you'd like to share with the audience, please, Van An?
So my inspiring story is quite simple, So take an example of Be Greater. This is the brand positioning. It's anyone can be greater. And my philosophy is I don't compete with others. What I do is I always try to improve myself every day a little bit more. And this little progress gives me a lot of motivation going forward. So for me, it's just yesterday, be a better version of self. So I actually set a small goal. I used to set a very big aspirational goal, but I couldn't complete. So now I do small little goal every day, every week. And when you look back over the last 2 years, and I'm amazed with myself because the progress I have made, So my inspirational story is anything is possible. I have to borrow that from the Ironman, but I do believe if I can do, if I used to be the person cannot run, then I wear orthotics. Now I can run marathon. So it was, the plan is first it's finish marathon, and then finish before sub 6, and now finish before sub 5. So this progress I make, little progress every 6 months, and then I look at back and I'm quite happy. So I always talk with people, set a small goal and then improve, and then continue expanding my personal limit. And then once I cross that limit, I set another limit. So I actually very enjoying about, breaking personal limit. And the journey that I'm doing is as good as the moment I finish I cross the finish line, either in sport or in my work, in my professional life. Yeah.
What a wonderful story to end on. Thank you so much. That is so powerful. Compete with yourself, not necessarily with others. And I think we're moving into a whole new realm of collaboration. Yes. I've seen so much of it come through with COVID, and it's about the journey, not getting to the finish line. What a beautiful way to end. Van, it's been so wonderful speaking to you. Thank you so much for making the time, and I hope that I can come and meet you in person in September when your Ironman 70.3 is on in Vietnam. It would be so wonderful.
Thank you, Chris. Great to talk to you. I look forward to seeing you in September.